By 1969, Bruce Lee had already captured international attention as Kato in the Green Hornet, but he knew the world had only seen a fraction of his true potential, and the time had come to redefine what martial arts could look like on the silver screen. Hollywood still did not offer leading roles to Asian actors, and Bruce understood that if he wanted to be a star, he could no longer wait for the industry to give him permission. He focused on preparing himself to revolutionize cinema, combining philosophy, speed, and realism in ways that audiences had never witnessed before. Every fight he choreographed was designed to tell a story, not just show movement. His martial arts philosophy, Jeet Kune Do, encouraged freedom and adaptability, and he studied filmmaking so he could control how his skills appeared on screen. Each training session brought him closer to a new type of action cinema audiences had never seen. Bruce was ready to challenge stereotypes and change martial arts forever. His vision extended beyond entertainment. He wanted to create a global cinematic movement that would inspire generations. By combining philosophy, skill, and screen presence, Bruce Lee was preparing to become more than a star. He was becoming a legend, leaving Hollywood searching for opportunity. By 1969, Bruce Lee realized that Hollywood would never give him the leading roles he deserved, and he made the bold decision to leave Los Angeles and return to Hong Kong. He knew that American studios were still limited in imagination and unwilling to cast Asian stars as heroes. Hong Kong offered a vibrant film industry and a chance for creative freedom that Hollywood could not provide. Producers were intrigued by his fame as Kato, giving him credibility despite being relatively unknown locally. Bruce immediately began meeting directors, choreographers, and producers to discuss projects where he could have full control over action, sequences, and storytelling. He insisted that fight scenes be realistic, fast, and emotionally engaging rather than exaggerated or fake. His philosophy of Jeet Kune Do guided every move, emphasizing efficiency, fluidity, and adaptability. Actors and stunt performers were trained to react authentically and execute precise movements that looked powerful on screen. By taking control, Bruce ensured that his vision for martial arts cinema would remain uncompromised. These steps laid the foundation for a revolution that would soon captivate audiences worldwide, refining Jeet Kune Do for film. Once back in Hong Kong, Bruce Lee devoted himself to refining Jeet Kune Do and applying it directly to cinematic choreography, creating fights that were both exciting and technically precise. He experimented with camera angles, timing, and movement to ensure audiences could follow every strike while feeling the intensity. Bruce emphasized that martial arts were more than physical skill. They were a form of self-expression, discipline, and storytelling. Fights had to feel real but also dramatic, so viewers could understand the stakes and connect with the characters. He studied anatomy, leverage, and body mechanics to enhance realism and impact. His collaborators were trained to embody the philosophy in their movements and reactions. Bruce meticulously designed every sequence to reinforce story and character, not just for spectacle. Directors and crews quickly realized that his approach was unlike anything they had seen before in cinema. The combination of philosophy, skill, and vision set him apart from every martial arts choreographer of the time. This period marked the beginning of a new era in which martial arts would become a global cinematic language. The first steps toward revolution. Bruce Lee began pitching projects to Hong Kong studios where he could serve as both lead actor and action director, insisting on creative control. Producers were initially skeptical because most martial arts films followed repetitive formulas and lacked realistic choreography. Bruce convinced them that audiences were ready for something revolutionary, authentic, fast-paced, and emotionally compelling action. He trained actors and stunt performers to execute believable combat, while maintaining safety and precision on set. Bruce also controlled costume design, weapon handling, and dialogue pacing so martial arts could be seamlessly integrated into the story. Every fight scene was designed to immerse viewers in tension, strategy, and physical skill. He produced demonstration reels to show directors how martial arts could be cinematic and compelling. His skill, speed, and creative vision gradually won over producers who had been doubtful. By the end of this phase, Bruce had created a model for films where martial arts were both art and storytelling. These steps were the foundation for the groundbreaking movies that would soon make him an international superstar. Building early collaborations. In Hong Kong, Bruce Lee began building relationships with filmmakers, choreographers, and stunt teams who shared his vision for authentic martial arts cinema. He personally trained collaborators, ensuring that every punch, kick, and movement adhered to his philosophy. Bruce experimented with innovative camera angles and sequences to capture the speed and fluidity of his techniques. He also focused on emotional storytelling, making sure that fights revealed character intent and narrative tension. Short demonstration reels allowed him to convince crews and directors of the power of realistic martial arts action. These early collaborations were crucial in establishing a trusted team capable of executing his vision on a larger scale. Through repeated rehearsals, Bruce ensured every fight would feel authentic, dynamic, and visually striking. By the end of 1970, he had assembled a network of skilled professionals who would help him revolutionize martial arts cinema. His meticulous approach set new standards for action filmmaking worldwide. This period was essential in transforming Bruce Lee from a television star into a global cinematic innovator, establishing the Lee Film Company. Recognizing the need for creative independence, Bruce Lee began laying the groundwork for his own production company, which would allow him to control scripts, choreography, and the final vision of his films. He understood that without ownership, studios would continue imposing limitations on his ideas and compromise the authenticity of martial arts representation. By creating his own company, Bruce could ensure that every fight sequence, character arc, and story beat aligned with his philosophy. The company also allowed him to hire trusted collaborators, including actors and stunt performers he personally trained. This approach guaranteed consistency in performance and choreography, setting new industry standards for action filmmaking. Bruce meticulously reviewed scripts, identifying areas where martial arts could serve as both visual spectacle and narrative device. Through this control, he aimed to elevate martial arts films from simple entertainment to works of cinematic art. The establishment of the company marked a turning point in his career, signaling that he was no longer dependent on traditional studios. Bruce Lee was preparing not just for fame, but for a lasting legacy that would define martial arts cinema forever. Preparing for global stardom. During 1970-1971, Bruce Lee focused on preparing himself physically, mentally, and creatively for international recognition. Knowing that talent alone would not guarantee global fame, he intensified his training regimen, blending traditional martial arts techniques with modern fitness practices to increase speed, strength, and endurance. Bruce also refined his acting skills, ensuring he could convey emotion through both dialogue and physical movement. He studied filmmaking and editing to understand how camera angles could enhance the realism of combat sequences. His growing philosophy of Jeet Kune Do guided every action, ensuring that his performances reflected both intelligence and discipline. He networked with producers and distributors in Hong Kong and abroad, planning how his films could reach a worldwide audience. Bruce curated his image as a martial arts innovator, balancing humility with the confidence of a man who knew his abilities. He continued training his collaborators to maintain precision and authenticity on screen. Every decision, from choreography to story pacing, was made to maximize impact. By late 1971, Bruce Lee was fully ready to step onto the global stage as a revolutionary cinematic force, redefining martial arts on screen. Bruce Lee's ultimate goal was to show audiences that martial arts could be both realistic and expressive, moving beyond the exaggerated, theatrical style common in films at the time. He choreographed fights with attention to timing, strategy, and psychological impact, making every movement meaningful and deliberate. Bruce insisted that opponents react authentically, emphasizing the consequences of each strike and the danger involved. This approach made every scene dramatic, while still rooted in realism, giving audiences a new sense of immersion. He trained actors to convey fear, tension, and determination, making fights emotional as well as physical. Bruce combined speed and precision with camera techniques that captured the energy and flow of combat. His methodology allowed martial arts to become a storytelling device, advancing character development and plot. The level of authenticity he demanded elevated action scenes to an art form. Audiences were drawn not only to his skill, but to the philosophy and discipline behind it. Through this, Bruce Lee redefined martial arts cinema for the first time on a global scale. Mentorship and building a skilled team. While preparing for his major films, Bruce Lee also trained a new generation of martial artists, actors, and stunt performers who would become essential collaborators in his cinematic vision. He emphasized discipline, skill, and an understanding of Jeet Kune Do to ensure that every move was executed with precision and purpose. Bruce's mentorship extended beyond physical training. He taught focus, confidence, and adaptability, qualities necessary both on and off the screen. Some of his students would go on to star in his films, while others became choreographers and instructors, spreading his techniques worldwide. His approach ensured consistency and high performance across all projects, elevating the quality of martial arts cinema. Bruce's team shared his commitment to realism, artistry, and storytelling, making collaborative work efficient and effective. He held rigorous rehearsals to perfect every sequence before filming. His leadership cultivated loyalty and trust, allowing him to execute ambitious fight scenes safely and convincingly. This mentorship created a legacy that extended beyond Bruce's own performances. By preparing his collaborators, he ensured that his revolutionary style would influence cinema for decades, setting the stage for breakthrough films. By the end of 1971, Bruce Lee had meticulously prepared for his first major leading film, combining his philosophy, martial arts skill, and cinematic vision into a cohesive style. He carefully selected scripts and collaborators, ensuring that the story and fight choreography would meet his high standards. Bruce emphasized realism, intensity, and emotional engagement in every scene, creating fights that advanced the plot while entertaining audiences. He trained his cast and crew to perform with precision, ensuring safety without sacrificing impact. His approach transformed martial arts sequences from simple spectacle into a narrative device capable of conveying drama and character. Bruce also planned marketing strategies, highlighting his unique skill, charisma, and philosophy. The industry began to recognize that he was not just a martial artist, but a visionary capable of creating globally appealing cinema. With preparation complete, he was ready to break stereotypes and show the world that Asian actors could lead major films. Bruce's work set the standard for future action cinema and established the blueprint for his global success. This period was the final step before his rise as an international icon. On the verge of global stardom, by late 1971, Bruce Lee stood at the threshold of worldwide fame, equipped with extraordinary martial arts skills, cinematic knowledge, and a revolutionary vision. He had mastered the physical, creative, and strategic elements necessary to make films that were authentic, compelling, and globally appealing. Bruce had built a skilled and loyal team to execute his vision with precision and dedication. He had refined every detail of choreography, storytelling, and camera technique to ensure maximum impact. His philosophy of Jeet Kune Do was fully integrated into his performances, blending speed, power, and emotional depth. Bruce's careful preparation allowed him to challenge stereotypes and inspire audiences with an Asian hero who was intelligent, courageous, and disciplined. He had positioned himself not merely as a performer, but as a mentor, innovator, and cultural pioneer. The stage was set for his films to redefine martial arts cinema and captivate audiences worldwide. By the end of this period, Bruce Lee was ready to become a global phenomenon. His work from 1969 to 1971 laid the foundation for a legacy that would endure for generations.